Hi everyone. We are going to look into the shocking story of Rick Harrison today. At age 60, Rick has proven that his son really does have a life sentence. Pawn Stars has gone from being a small family business to a worldwide TV hit, but now it's involved in a scam. Please join us as we look into Rick Harrison's sad rise and fall and how it has affected his family. The truth is no longer a secret for Rick Harrison. His son was going to get a life term. People used to look up to the Harrisons because they were a successful pawn shop family. But now, after everything, that power is gone for good. Let us look at the sad ends to their careers. Please remember to like and follow if you want to know what's going on with the Harrison family's sad story. Think about what you think about Rick Harrison and his son. Tell us what you think in the box below the movie. A shocking turn of events has shocked fans of the popular Discovery Channel show Alaskan Bush. Noah Brown, the family's second son and a creative and thoughtful person, has gotten some bad news that could completely change his life. The 31-year-old man, who was once called the intellectual of the family because he loved making things and deep thinking, is now going through a personal crisis that is causing the whole Brown family to shake. Production team sources say that Noah recently got a troubling medical report. He had been having symptoms for months that he thought were caused by living in the wilderness, which was very harsh. After being tired for a long time, losing weight for no clear reason, and having constant pain, Noah finally went to the doctor because his wife, Rain Alicia, suggested it. The family has asked that the diagnosis be kept secret, but it is said to be bad enough that Noah has to leave their home in the mountains in Washington, called North Star Ranch, to get specialized care that they could not get in such a remote place. Leaving the wild lifestyle that has made the Brown family who they are for generations is a big shock to a family that is so close and that fans have been following for over 10 years. Billy Brown was Noah's dad and the family leader who led them on their adventures in Alaska and then Washington. He will be heartbroken by this news, especially since he died of a seizure in February 2021 at the age of 68. After this terrible loss, the Brown family is still having a hard time staying together and finding their purpose. Noah's news is yet another terrible blow to a family that is still getting over the death of their father, who was their leader. Noah has always dealt with problems in a different way than his brothers. A crew member said that while some people might have used strength or traditional skills to deal with problems in the wilderness, Noah was the only one who could think of creative answers that no one else had. His way of thinking was a big part of how the family dealt with new problems. People who like Alaskan Bush people have seen Noah grow up from a weird teenager with strange hobbies to an adult who got married and had a child. He did all of this while keeping his unique way of living in the wild and taking care of his family. Noah, his wife Rain Alicia, and their 3 boys, Elijah, Connor, and Adam, have become very important to the story of the Brown family on TV. Rain Alicia has always been there for Noah, even when things went wrong, like when wildfires destroyed a lot of their property in Washington in 2020. She is apparently doing the same in this new crisis. She is seen as a strong support system by many, keeping Noah steady as they go through this hard time together and try to keep things normal for their young children. A person in the production says that Noah and Rain have always had some freedom within the Brown family. They were the first ones to build their own house on the family's land, which shows that they wanted a private area while still being close to the rest of the family. This freedom could be very useful when they have to take a break from their normal lives for a while in the woods. The rest of Noah's family has come together to support him in their own special ways, which show who they are and how they feel about him. Noah's mother, Amy Brown, who fought lung cancer that was deadly in 2017, and whose story was told on the show, has been very helpful. In order to ease and guide them, she talks about her own experience with a life-threatening diagnosis. A family friend says that Amy understands better than anyone else in the family how important it is to deal with this kind of news. Because she had cancer, the family had to leave Alaska and move to California to be closer to medical facilities. This experience changed the Brown family in a big way. Everyone who is now helping Noah is inspired by Amy's strength during that time. Noah's brothers have responded in different ways depending on who they are and how they feel about him. Bear Brown, who calls himself the king of extremes and is known for having a lot of energy, has turned that energy into useful help by helping Rain take care of the kids and finish Noah's projects on the land. Gabe Brown, who is friends with Noah and is often on the show, is said to be very upset about his brother's prognosis. Gabe's strength has helped Noah's technical knowledge on many projects that the two brothers have worked on together. Rain Brown, the youngest sister, has changed before our eyes into a mature woman. She is now focused on giving Noah's children mental support by spending time with them to help them stay connected to the rest of the family during this uncertain time. Bird Brown, who has always had strong maternal instincts, has taken on the job of caregiving and making sure that everyone is taken care of while they deal with this sad news. Many people think that Bam Brown is the most practical of the siblings. He has been taking care of the details, researching treatment options, and working with medical experts. Matt Brown, the oldest son, called out to Noah when he heard about his diagnosis. He has been away from the family for a while because of personal problems and drug use. Sources say that this situation has given them a chance to mend their broken relationship, even though it's still hard, because Matt lives far away from his family. During their time in the public eye, the Brown family has been through a lot. They lost their original home in Alaska. Amy was diagnosed with cancer. There were destructive wildfires, and Billy died suddenly. Their family motto, Extreme North Together Forever, has been put to the test by each crisis. They have had to face each problem as a team. The next problem in this long line of problems is Noah's diagnosis. Their group, which they call the Wolf Pack, is changing what it means to live in the wild. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you want to see the newest movies about Rick Harrison's life. What do you think about how the Harrison family fell? Leave your thoughts in the box below. A producer who has worked on the show for a long time says that the Brown family is not just about living in the wilderness. People love them because they are determined to face problems together as a family and figure out how to get through them. That's exactly what's going on right now. They are changing to help Noah get through something that can't be fixed with clever ideas or power alone. When Noah's health problems happen, they are especially sad because the family in the show are going through a lot of change after Billy's death. The family has been looking for a new direction and purpose. Some family members are working on personal projects, but everyone is still trying to keep the vision Billy had for their mountain home. Because Noah is sick, they have to rethink their goals again. They have to decide which parts of their life are truly necessary and which ones need to change so that Noah can get the care he needs. Bill always told us that where you live in the wild isn't as important as how you live, with family, freedom, and independence at the heart. Noah said in a recent show that was filmed before he was diagnosed, to protect what's most important, that sometimes means making hard choices. These words have a new meaning for Noah and his family now that they have to make hard choices about their future and treatment plans. Discovery Channel hasn't said anything official about Noah's health or how it might affect filming of future episodes. Sources in the production say that the network has been helpful and is willing to change shooting times and locations to meet Noah's medical needs. The Brown family has always been willing to talk about their personal problems with the audience because they think that other people going through the same things can learn from them. A TV critic who has been watching the show since the beginning says it's at its best when it shows how hard things really are for the family. Some critics have questioned their way of life or the truth of what they say, but no one can deny that the Brown family has talked about real human things like love, loss, sickness, and getting better. Something that everyone can connect with, no matter where they live or how they live. Medical professionals who aren't taking care of Noah but know how hard it can be to manage serious illnesses in remote places say that the Brown family now has to figure out how to live without electricity and still get regular medical care, which can be hard. Dr. Meredith Chen, an expert in rural medicine, says that it can be especially hard to live off the grid if you need to see a doctor often. Access to electricity for medical devices, the ability to store medications in a refrigerator, and the distance to emergency services are some of the things that need to be thought about based on the situation. Families who want to live in remote places often have to make hard choices because of these things. Noah's identity is tied to his mechanical creativity and his ability to figure out how to live in the wilderness. This health crisis is not only a physical problem for him, but also an emotional one. His unique way of living in the wild has been shown through his designs, which range from simple hunting tools to complex shower systems. Now he has to face a task that requires him to give up some of his independence and control by getting help from doctors and family, which may go against the idea of being self-sufficient in the wilderness. A team member who has worked closely with Noah says that Noah has always been a thinker who needs to know how everything works. In this case, that's both his strength and his task. He is looking into everything about his illness because he wants to know everything about the medicine. On the other hand, he is learning that not all problems can be answered by perfect inventions or smart ideas. Raina Alicia joined the Brown family as an outsider, but has become an important part of their story. She is now juggling many roles, including helping her husband get treatment, taking care of their young children during a difficult time, and keeping up with the complicated dynamics of the Brown family as a whole. Her background, which includes living in more normal places before moving into the wilderness with the Brown family, gives her a valuable point of view as the family deals with this health problem. A member of the production team said that Rain gives the family a new point of view. She accepts the way of life in the wild, but it doesn't make her who she is like it has for the Brown family. When the family needs to think of ways to do things differently, that outsider's view can be very helpful. People think that the Brown family's faith, which has been brought up on the show, especially when Amy talks about how God helps them through hard times, is a big part of how they're dealing with Noah's illness. The family has always had a spiritual link with nature and thought that their way of life was in line with God's plan. These spiritual tools are now being used to help them find meaning and purpose in this new task. For people who like Alaskan bush people and have seen the Brown family through many stages of change, Noah's health problem is another new chapter in the family's story. The show started out as a documentary about a family living in the wilds of Alaska. Over time, it has grown into a bigger story about how hard times can test family relationships. This story continues with Noah's situation, which challenges the Bush family's way of life when they have to deal with current medical needs. A TV director who has worked on similar reality shows said that the show has never been just about being cut off from the modern world. There are decisions that a family makes about how they interact with modern society and what they accept and don't accept. Because of Noah's health, they have to make new decisions and adjustments, but these don't have to go against their core values of freedom of choice and family unity. The family is allegedly trying to incorporate parts of their life in the wilderness into Noah's medical journey while he's getting treatment. Bear has collected natural items to beautify Noah's treatment room, and Bird is making traditional medicines to help with his treatment. Gabe set up a room for Noah so that he can keep working on small art projects while he is getting treatment, as long as his health allows it. It's important for him to stay connected to his artistic self. A wildlife expert who has helped the show say that the Brown family has always been able to adapt, which is how they've lived in tough places. In this situation, they are using their ability to adapt to keep their relationships with each other and their values strong, even though they have to briefly live in a more normal place. For people who have followed the Brown family story over the years, Noah's health crisis is a new chapter in a story that has always been about being strong, adapting, and having strong family ties. His exact diagnosis is still a secret, but the story of how he overcame hardships with bravery and the help of his family carries on the tradition that has made Alaskan bush people more than just a show about living in the wild. A network executive who is familiar with the show said that what keeps people watching is not just the novelty of their lifestyle, but also the raw emotion their family ties and how they deal with problems as a group. People from all walks of life can relate to the way they deal with problems. Even though Noah's story is very personal, it speaks to the way all people feel when they are vulnerable, need care, or are trying to find meaning in hard times. The Brown family is going through a hard time, but their story keeps changing, showing that they can get through anything with love and unity. Bush people don't just identify themselves by where they live or how well they can survive. They also have a mindset that says you should deal with life's problems by being creative, depending on each other, and being completely loyal to your family. Noah has always been more private and distant from his brothers. However, this health journey may show him new levels of strength and resilience that are in line with the family's values, even if it means they have to leave their mountain home for a while. The Alaskan Bush People production team is said to be working closely with the family to figure out if and how to include Noah's health journey in future shows, while also honoring their privacy and the show's commitment to telling true stories. No matter what happens with the show in the future, Noah's position has changed the Brown family like nothing else, and this will definitely have an effect on the overall story. Also shocking is what's going on with the Harrison family on Pawn Stars. The founder of the multi-million-dollar business that grew out of the family's pawn shop has revealed that rumors about his son are true. His son was given a life sentence, which has caused a lot of problems for the Harrison family. The Harrison family business, which helped build reality TV, is now going through the worst time in its history. Once unstoppable, the Pawn Stars company is now on the verge of falling apart.